Only in the beginning of December 1800 we find Paganini in Modena, where he holds two concerts. The first, at the 5th of December, he executed a concert of Rhodes, one of Kreutzer, and two of his own compositions, the Symphony of Lodoviska, Sinfonia della Lodoviska, after Mayer's work, in which he introduces flute sounds performed with the archet, and variations on the song La Carmagnole. The second concert was performed the 21st of December and included in the program Fandango Español. It's interesting to note that at every concert he executed one or two of his works, not including the concerts he affirms in his autobiography that he wrote during this time, nor any of the caprices. Next year, at the beginning of May, rumors of war are circulating again. Paganini, devoid of concertistic activity and driven by the impatience to escape from his father's tutel, decides to go on his own at the festivities held in Lucca at the beginning of autumn. In the art of sound, Lucca has a millenary tradition and a reputed school. From here originates the well-known violinist Francesco Germiniani, born in 1687. He established himself in London, where he collaborated with Handel, and also in Lucca originates the ancient family of musicians Puccini, from which we'll mention the greatest and most successful proponent of Italian opera after Verdi, Giacomo Antonio Domenico Michele II Maria Puccini. At the musical contest in Lucca, many musicians from abroad as well from Italy came to participate because the success they might have obtained there conferred them a special halo. Antonio Paganini does not agree to let his son go on his own because Niccolò was still minor. But at the request of his older brother Carol, who was 7 years older than Niccolò, joined to the request coming from his mom Teresa, Antonio ceased and entrusted Niccolò to Carol. It's hard to picture the joy that submerged Paganini when he saw himself on his way to Lucca only accompanied by his brother. Arrived in Lucca, Paganini presented himself to the contest. At that time, Paganini, exaggerating Tartini's techniques, used a very long archet and the violoncelle strings. Being examined conform to standards, he would later tell, everybody was making fun of my long archet and the thickness of my strings. But after they listened to me, they applauded me so much that the other competitors did not dare to make themselves heard. Here he was heard singing in public at the concert in the cathedral at the 14th of September 1801 during the religious service for the Volto Santo celebration. He had an exceptional success and he was invited to perform concerts in other churches. Not without pride, he will later note. In a big nocturnal ceremony in the church, my concert provoked such enthusiasm that the priests ran out to impose silence to the masses. In December 1801, Lucca was proclaimed Democratic Republic. Paganini was named the first violinist of the Democratic Republic of Lucca, which was a state functionary position. In this function, he had the obligation to conduct the orchestra and the opportunity to practice and become familiar with every single instrument, which at a certain point will be of great value in his activity as a composer. At the age of 19 years old, we see him in the position of a state functionary until 1809. During this time, he also gave private lessons to the princess's husband Felix and played in the court orchestras after Luca was annexed by Napoleonic France in 1805. His tenure ended when he left to resume his freelance career, which involved extensive touring. This period helped Paganini gain experience and confidence, and his time in Lucca was a significant part of his early career before he became a world-famous virtuoso. From Lucca he often traveled to Pisa and especially Livorno. One evening, while walking in this town, someone presented him a very difficult concert of Viotti and asked him to play it. As he did not have the violin with himself, a French tradesman called Livron, who had a Stradivari, borrowed it to him in order to prove his virtuosity. Paganini won this challenge that he was able to execute every piece no matter how difficult at first sight. And Livron, highly impressed, gifted him the violin. This was the second violin Paganini received as a gift for his talent and virtuosity.